Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So, we've been talking about investing and, where to put your money and how to save your money, but, a lot of people, you don't know if you want an online bank, a traditional bank, like which bank is best for you, like which way should you go? Especially with all these new banks coming up, right? Because when you're deciding between a traditional, brick and mortar bank or an online bank, I mean, there's pros and cons of each, right? Price, service, options, and you really need to go through these to figure out what's best for you, because when it comes to deciding where to put your money, there's just a lot of options. There's so many banks out there, new ones popping up, every other week, right? But where you decide to do your banking can have important effects on your financial life, right? So it's important that you don't just pick the next bank that comes along, right? You got to pick the right bank for what you need, right? So let's jump into online banks, right? No physical locations, right? Online banks aren't going to have somewhere where you need to go you can visit, right? You'll do all your banking, on an app or on the computer, right? The account opening process is fast, right? Because opening it online is really quick and easy, right? You'll have to provide some information, of course, but once you identify yourself, your new account can be up and running in minutes, right? Online banks focus on the user experience, right? Making banking really easy via whatever their online platform is, right? And then online banks may offer ATM access, but you'll have to make sure you find out what in-network fees you might have, right? What cash limits your account imposes. Online banks usually offer better interest rates. They don't always have the expenses that traditional banks do, right? No building and all that other stuff, right? So they can pass a little more of the savings on to the customer. Online banks are the clear winner when it comes to fees. Just as many online banks don't need to shave your interest yields down to nearly nothing. They also have the wiggle room to charge less for fees, right? And while online banks definitely have customer support teams, you'll also find yourself scrolling for answers in support forums or chatting with an online bot to get you to help, if you have an issue, right? But then we move on to, some traditional banks, right? So banks like Chase have actual buildings called branches. You can visit them, either go through a drive-through or go inside. And these branches are staffed with tellers and other employees who can help you complete all your banking needs, right? At a traditional bank, you're going to have to bring documentation with you and, visit a branch during normal business hours, right? You can find yourself waiting anywhere from a couple minutes to maybe an hour or so for your account to be completely set up. Some online banking options come with traditional bank, right? Like a website or an app for you to conduct transactions. But a lot of times they're not as good as online bank stuff, right? And since traditional banks have bank branches, they'll also offer ATM access at their network of ATMs. You might get, say, like a 0.10% APY or even a 0.01% APY on a savings account at a traditional bank, but it's much easier to find higher yields at online banks. A traditional bank might charge $10 or even $15 per month just to having a checking account, right? And then, as customer service goes, traditional banks kind of have the edge here because, part of all that overhead that keeps them charging more is staffing the branches with friendly faces, right? And that's the big difference, between some of these. But what about the big difference between personal and business banking? Right now, you got to decide if you want an online bank or a traditional bank. Then you have to decide if it's a personal account or a business, right? Well, before I talk about that, it's important to make a distinction between personal banking and business banking, right? So, personal banking, right? It's it's banking you do for your personal life, right? A personal account is where you'll likely have your paycheck direct deposited. You may put your vacation savings or your emergency fund in your personal savings account. And personal bank accounts typically have lower fees and are not designed for frequent business transactions. But then when it comes to business banking, you might use a business bank account if you're an entrepreneur with your own small business, a freelancer, an independent contractor who needs to keep business money separate from personal money, right? Also, you'll often find business banking and personal banking offered at the same institution, but rates offered for business accounts won't necessarily be the same as what's offered for personal accounts, right? So then we've talked about some pros and cons. So why should you use an online bank? Well, online banks may seem like a new invention in the banking world, but there's a reason they grew so quickly and are, in a lot of ways, more popular with younger bankers in particular. Right? Online banks are typically every bit as safe as traditional banks, and their funds are FDIC insured as well. There's some other benefits that online banks have as well, right? Better rates. One of the biggest benefits of most online banks is that they typically offer much better interest rates on your savings account. After all, with no bank branches to pay for, online banks have lowered overhead and they can pass those savings on to you, the customer. Online banking interest rates can be as much as 10 times higher than a standard bank's, right? During these times of rock bottom interest rates, it might not be much, let's say 1% APY, but that still beats the 0.10% APY of typical traditional banks. One of the best online checking account bonus rates you'll see anywhere is with OnJuno, an online checking account that offers 1.20% bonus on balances of up to $5,000. Another thing for online banks is the convenience. The beauty of online banking is 24-hour convenience. Need to make a deposit at 3 a.m.? No problem. You're just going to take a picture of your check with your phone, securely upload it to your account. Or if you have a bundle of cash, right, you may be able to use an ATM, prepaid card, or bank transfer. Now, if you're wondering if your check cleared, you just visit your banking website, check the status. You can make transfers, withdrawals, bill payments at pretty much most online banks, right? Then there's low fees. In addition to competitive interest rates, online banks also tend to offer their customers very low fees compared to your traditional banks. Some online banks offer fee-free checking accounts or savings accounts, right? Perks that can save you, $10, $15 a month depending on like which bank. You might even find a bank that doesn't charge ATM fees at all, or transfer fees, or most other fees either. So then, who should use online banks? All right. Well, those already living their life online, right? Like most young people. Online banking is going to require you to be comfortable using an app or a website to make deposits, check balances, and transfer funds. If you can confidently open an app and follow a couple directions, right, and hate making a special trip to visit the bank, you're probably going to love online banking. The one I talk about most is Chime, right? It's a perfect example. When you sign up for a free Chime account, you get access to their spend and save accounts, roughly equivalent to traditional checking and savings, right? But instead of a checkbook, you get Chime's easy to use app. It'll show you your balance, your recent transactions, even real time notifications and alerts. You lose your card, you just freeze it within the app, and whoever finds it won't be able to use it. Hate writing checks? Well, a lot of people do. You can just send one using Chime. They'll write it out and mail it for you. A little disclosure about Chime, though. It's a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by and debit cards issued by Bancorp Bank, right? And they're members of FDIC. So, another thing is those who hate paying for things. One of the best things about online banks is that you can almost always find one for free. So, let's say you can get a free checking account at BBVA. For a checking account at a traditional brick and mortar bank, you could be looking at $120 a year just in monthly fees to use the account, right? If you like free things, you'll love the banks that pay you for banking with them. Uh, Lending Club Bank is one of the banks that pay interest if you maintain a certain balance. They have a hybrid checking account that'll pay you 1% APY if you keep $2,500 in your account. Compare that to what you'll get, say, at a major traditional bank, which is just 0.01%, right? And no, that's not a misspeak or anything like that, right? The national average savings account interest rate is 1/100th of a percent. Ooh, right? Other people who might like online banking, freelancers, side hustlers, right? Because bank accounts come in not just online or traditional flavors, but personal and business too. If you're a freelancer or side hustler, I would say, check out the benefits of using an online business bank account for your business. It keeps your business funds separate from your personal money, which helps you treat your efforts as a legitimate business. It also makes things way easier at tax time. If you're used to doing most or all of your business online, you will probably enjoy doing your business banking through an online bank as well. Not every business bank account is made for the freelancer life. Even business bank accounts designed for small business can require high daily balances or large monthly fees. And that doesn't often fit with, operating a freelance business. You'll be much better off with a free online account in these situations. One of the examples would be like Novo, right? It's a great bank to do business with. It's free to open an account with them, and they do not charge monthly fees. You can link your personal checking account and arrange for invoices to be paid to your Novo business account, then transfer some of your earnings over to your personal account. You can protect some of your business earnings for paying taxes later, and it's easy to keep records as well. Plus, if you sign up with Novo, they'll help you with discounts for apps and services you'll actually use in your business. Stripe, QuickBooks, stuff like that. The company Novo offers a robust app that lets you monitor your balance, send receive money, pay bills, transfer funds to linked accounts. You know, you could also consider Bluevine, a company that offers both a business checking account and loans for small businesses. The Bluevine business checking account provides unlimited transactions, live support, and no monthly fees. Plus, you can earn 1% APY. The business loan side comes with either a line of credit or invoice factoring. With a line of credit, you can get up to 250,000 in credit with rates as low as about 4.8%. With invoice factoring, you can get a factoring line of up to 5 million with rates as low as 0.25% a week. So then that's online banks. Why should you use traditional banks, right? Well, with all that being said, there's still some benefits using traditional banks. If that's what you're used to, you might be inclined to carry on as you've always been. So then you've got personal service, right? Traditional banks will be able to offer you more personal service. Depending on the bank you choose and the tellers that staff your local branch, you might wind up banking at the kind of place where everybody knows your name. The employees can help you set up banking products, say loans, credit cards, and then they can explain, how they work. If you prefer a personal touch to your banking experience, traditional banks are most likely, your cup of tea. There's some other powerful features as well, because with a traditional bank, you might have access to more powerful features than you would with a bare bones online bank. In addition to personal service at in person locations, you might have a more robust banking website with more features, including ones that will help you save money. Traditional banks also tend to be more involved with the communities that they service, and some can even provide business account holders with networking opportunities. So, who should use traditional banks then? Well, those who want a little, let's call it handholding, right? Traditional banks are going to be better for those who are looking for a personal touch to their banking. You'll be able to just pop over to your local branch, see a person, instead of going crazy in the multiple choice labyrinth of a customer service call or an online, customer service robot, right? In fact, a lot of traditional banks offer more than just checking or savings, allowing you to do a lot more, different banking tasks under one roof. There's a UK-based bank called HSBC making their way over to the US, and they offer CDs, credit cards, mortgages, investing, and insurance, in addition to a wide variety of checking and savings accounts. You'd never need another bank if you chose to route all your financial activities through them. CIT Bank is another one that offers a full service selection of banking and borrowing, with credit cards and CDs rounding out their checking and savings selections. They even offer a 0.40% API on their CIT Savings Builder account, though you'll need either a $25,000 balance or you'll need to deposit $100 monthly to see those yields. So, those who need to bank like a boss, right? Because if it's business bank accounts you're after, traditional banks can help you bank literally like a boss, right? Chase Business Complete Banking is a popular choice for small businesses. There's no minimum to open an account. and there are thousands of bank branches across the US. Plus, there are still robust online options like the Chase website and mobile app for when you need to accomplish your banking task right away. So then what does this all mean? Let's summarize this all up and let's get down to, just like what you really need to know. Overall, whether you go with an online or traditional bank, it really is going to depend on your banking needs. Of course, not to mention, your preferences and your budget. For the low cost independent route, online banking might be your best choice. And for the high budget but high features path, traditional banks are probably going to be, your speed. But remember, there's no law that says you can have only one account. You might prefer to have your checking at a traditional bank, but use an online savings account for the great interest rates. Honestly, it's up to you. Either way you slice it, you'll be stashing your cash in a safe, dependable place so it can grow, which is the whole point of a bank account, no matter where you put it, right? So you just got to decide which route do you want to go, right? Now, I know I listed or I said a couple different, banks in here, and you don't have to go with those. You can do, I always say this, please do your own research. Look into a couple online banks and traditional banks and see what's best for you, right? So I really hope you guys got some good information out of this. If you liked the video, go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Until I see you guys in the next video, y'all be safe.